Welcome to Think Alive. We're Sharon and Andy, just two people with a dream and a vision of restoring our traditional stone-built farmhouse in southern Spain, transforming it into a beautiful off-grid home and sharing our journey with you. Welcome back, everyone.
Morning, everyone.
It's been a week so far.
We'll tell you all about it.
Anyway, the good news is it's a year now since we got young Alf. Those of you that have been with us all that time will know that he was found in the road. His eyes were closed. He was looking not so good and was sure to be run over at some point.
Yes, he certainly wouldn't have survived,
would he? He couldn't see, and he was so tiny. So a friend of mine had asked me, did we want another cat? And I said, well, not really, but you know what I'm like. So anyway, the rest is history, and here he is. Yeah, he likes to bite my finger. He thinks I'm his mum. He bites and sucks my finger. Yeah, so it was time to get him done. We've left him so long simply because we hoped he might grow into a nice big tomcat, but
a decent sized tomcat.
I think he's just going to be a little pipsqueak all his life.
A little pipsqueak with a massive personality.
Massive personality.
Yeah.
So anyway, long story short, needed to get him booked into the vet. Got to go to our local city, I suppose it is, to get some shopping.
It a city?
I don't know. It's bigger than Panoso, which is a town. All the main.
It's our main the city town that we come under jurisdiction with the council and everything. It's the town we're attached under.
Yes.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Anyway, we had to do some shopping, so the vet's is just down the road. I thought I'll pop in and make an appointment for young Alf. Got back in the car, started my journey home, and all of a sudden I'd absolutely no power on the car. It was a nightmare. I'd got big trucks overtaking me, and I was having to drive right over the white line to allow everyone to pass me, literally with the hazards on in first gear all the way home. It was terrifying, actually.
Yes, that was interesting. So Sharon came back, as I say, limped back in first gear on takeover.
Yes.
So looking at it, it turns out it's a control valve on the back of the injection pump. So I did a reset of the injection pump and the car went all right.
But I was not prepared to take Alfie this
no. So
morning on my own.
The next day, Alfie was booked in early morning.
Yes.
To go to the vet. It's not that far up there, but it's far enough. So we decided we'd drop him off at the vet, and then we'd spend some time in our local town, our governing town, town.
Yeah, it was too far literally to take him, to come back, to then go back and collect him, come back again, especially with a poorly car.
Yes, that's right.
And we had to get our SIP cards done anyway because
yes, your SIP cards is your health card basically. You need to show it if you've got the doctors or whatever to prove that you're entitled to the
and we're still both registered, myself down in Creviente, Andy and Dolores, and obviously if you need emergency treatment you can go to any hospital, but if you just need to see a GP it's a long way to go. So it's sort of a job we needed to do. We've been putting it off because we know what Spanish bureaucracy is like, but we thought we'll do that whilst we're waiting for Alf. So
we trotted to the medical centre, the big medical centre, with the intention of getting this done. And what did they do? You made an appointment for the following day.
Early morning as well.
So anyway, while we were there, we found a new bodega.
We did.
Here's a couple of pictures of it. Found some new wine, our local wine that we thought we'd try. We bought a new tablecloth and did a bit of a tourist thing.
Had a nice beer in the square.
We did indeed. That was very enjoyable as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And eventually we picked Alfie up, came back this morning. We had to go back to do our SIP card our application to change our medical cards.
So basically we've not done any building work the last 3 days. We've just done cats, vets, medical centres and car repairs.
And had a beer in the bar.
Which is the nice bit.
So it's been a bit of a frustrating, confusing time. We will get to the bottom of it eventually, for sure. Anyway,
the good news is Alfie's absolutely fine.
Yep.
He's been running around, climbing up the
Sprinting around,
railway
as you can
sleepers, jumping onto the roof as he does. So yes, I think he's over his operation already.
it didn't take long, did it?
So after a disastrous start to the week, on a higher note, we're going to now take off this tape and have a look what we've got on this ceiling, what it looks like. That's looking good already. It's had a few days to really go off, so we do it carefully. We should be able to do it without taking any of the whitewash off the ceiling. It's not looking too bad so far. This one was the worst one, and the ceiling came all the way down to that beam, so I'm just going to get a rag and see if I can clean that bit of paint off. If not, I know that Aguafuerte will do it.
It will.
But no, it's looking good.
We'll give you the results shortly when we've got all this tape off.
Yes. Well done.
It's coming.
I'll get cloth.
Then of course they need oiling.
For this, I think. Yeah, just wipes off. That's good news.
Excellent. Exciting stuff. Alright, the last one. I'm actually very pleased with it. It's come out really, really well. They were never going to be perfect straight edges, but they're not far off. It's taken nearly as long to get it off as it did to put it on. Well, not really, but it feels like it. There we go, here it comes. All is being revealed. Wonderful, super happy with that. The difficult part now is going to be oiling them, which you also Sharon volunteered to do a while ago, and not keeping that edge nice and clean. I'm sure she's more than capable, but yeah, really happy with that. So with the ceiling done, just needs oiling. I can start to concentrate on the walls. We want to put a light in the cave over there, with a switch here for it, which is miles away, I know, but it's the best place for it because it's in the plaster, not in the stonework. I think what I need to do first is get my junction box in, which is going up there, and my back box and my switch in. I'm just going to foam them in place like I've done with all the others, and then we can run the wires through them and they'll be securely fixed. I also need to get this socket in the wall as well somewhere. I haven't got a space for it yet, so I need to do that as well first. Well, first off, I think I'm going to get these stuck in the wall while we decide where we want to put this. We were going to put an outside socket in the courtyard out there for our sucker blower thing, but there's such ugly things against our beautiful stone walls. We've got a couple up the top courtyard, so we're just going to put a straightforward socket, double socket on the wall just here. We can easily plug in from there. We've done it in the past. So yeah, I'll get my foam and see if we can get them stuck in. The first thing to do, of course, is give it a vacuum to get all the dust out so the foam will stick to it. That's not bad. So the back box is in, just to make sure that it's level. Because you're going to have to look at it for eternity. I'll put a piece of wood in front of it with this weight on it, just so it won't get pushed forward further than the surface of the wall, and then we'll just have this one in up here. Pretty much anywhere we can make it stick, and I'll just lean something on this when it's in as well. Something like that. I'll just find a suitable leaning thing to stop that being pushed out as the foam expands, and in a little bit they'll be ready to be able to do something. We're going to do some wiring. So while I'm waiting for that, this is the cave again. Just needs a floor doing. I'm going to put some big stones on the floor, but I think I'm going to put the light at the back of the entrance, sort of over there, if that makes sense, so that it shines up and illuminates the roof of the cave from the corner. It's not going to be in the way. I'm holding my torch on my phone here, trying to light it up for you. Yes, and then put some stones over the top of it. I might mount it in a piece of wood and fix that securely in place there. I can run the cable. I've got a hole there. I can run the cable through from my switch. So yes, I think I'm going to have a look what I've got suitable to do that with. That's it. Right, so I'm inside the cave now. Very nice it is too. I'm not. What I can do, my wire, I'm trying to hold the torch at the same time. My wire will come out through the step there, and then I can run it underneath, under the floor, in the back of that. There's plenty of space around the back, and then I can put that there. Perhaps, maybe not. Is it working? Just use a flush mount fitting drilled into that to put my bulb in. I can then stone around that when I come to when I finish this step and finish that corner off, build it in like it's always been there. That sounds like a plan. So all I need now is a hole in the centre of that, the size of my light fitting. Right, so there it is, hole cut. The fitting now, if I can do this, I need more hands. He just pops in there like that. The bulb will go inside it. It'll stick out the back a little bit, not quite that far, but I can always make a bit of a hole in the thing for it to sit into and to sit the wiring into once I come to fit it in. But for now, it's kind of ready to go. I think that'll be pretty cool. There you go, so you get the idea. It's a bit crude at the minute. There will be a stone floor underneath it as well, and we'll stoning all around the sides. If I come back a little bit more, Sharon's trying to shine the torch for me, not easily. But yeah, that should, the way that's angled just about now, should light this up nicely. Obviously we'll test it before we fix it in place. So let's crack on. So they're dry now. A bit on electrics. We get asked from time to time, have we got any videos on doing electrics and things like that? Pretty much the answer is no. Not because we don't know what we're doing, because electrics can be pretty dangerous and deadly. So, and we'd hate to think that anyone had misunderstood what we were showing and what we were doing, made a mistake, and had a massive electrical problem. It can happen. We see such bad cases, especially over the years, of electrical installations. People buying old houses and wanting to use the existing electrics that are in there. Frightening. The best thing to do, I think, is rip it all out, start from scratch, especially if it is old, in an old house like this. Fortunately, we have none, so it's just been a fresh start for us. And essentially, if you're going to do your own electrics, learn what you're doing. If you don't know, if you're not sure, don't do it. Seek the advice and services of a qualified electrician. However, the main things, in my opinion, to consider are cable sizing, length of run, etc. Protection devices. You can see this little consumer unit here is in our utility room. The big cable runs from the workshop underground all the way around into an RCD, which is a residual current device, I believe the GFCIs in the States, in the US and in Canada. It's a current leakage protection device. Then each of the circuits you can see there are protected by individual overcurrent breakers basically. Each have a different rating, sized according to the circuit that it's going to be used for. It's no use having a breaker bigger than the power that's being supplied. All things to bear in mind, but again, it's not rocket science, and anyone can learn with a bit of patience and a bit of study how to do it safely, but just be sure that you are confident. Anyway, I'm going to get on now and get this wiring in here done. I'm kind of going to work through it, keeping it basic, so as not to be misunderstood. This wire, we put this in upstairs. Originally we intended to have the worktop along this wall here with sockets and things for that. Everything changed massively. Now the worktop's going over there behind you, so I need to get this power over to the other side. I'm also going to put a light in for the cave. As you saw in that diagram before, my lights are all on a separate circuit. There's a separate circuit for the utility room. There's a separate circuit for the house, the rest of the house, the sockets in the rest of the house. A separate circuit for the apartment upstairs. Normally I would put lights on a different circuit because if anything trips, you don't want to be plunged into darkness in the middle of the night. But in this case it's just a light for the cave, so I'm just going to run it off this. I could have put a plug on it and just plugged it in, but a switch makes life a bit easier. So what I've done, this is the wire that runs from the consumer unit over there. It's part of the socket ring. I've disconnected the power. I've just cut it to go into my junction box there. I'm going to strip these back and then terminate them, and then I can put the power back on. It's all safe at that moment in time. So I'll do that first. So if you're doing electrics, all you need, well, not all you need, but it's recommended. I would get a decent pair of side cutters, decent cable strippers. I'm just going to terminate these with Wago connectors. One over here. The little connectors, your wires go in, and the levers come down to lock it in place. Just put them in my pocket. Cut the cable to the desired length. Strip the end with the wire strippers, which makes life so much easier. Like that. Pop them in your Wago. Wago. Flick the lever down. He's safe. Same on the last one. Right, so with them in there like that, I can put the power back on. And they're all safe, they're all terminated, nothing can go wrong. Yes, of course it can't, I'm joking. So I'll get the power back on now. Again, the advantage of having the utility on a separate circuit is I can leave the fridge, freezer on, etc. And still turn the power off in the rest of the house. So the power's back on now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get all these wires in place, get everything in place, and then right at the end just make the connections into the live there. So which means I can just work away without having to worry.
So we've progressed this morning into the bar area. Now that Andy's finished patching it all up, I can paint it. I'm calculating, seeing as it's only half. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And they're only half, if that, of the size of the runs in the kitchen. So I should get them all done in one day. We shall see. Give it a good scrub first. All the loose bits on.
So what I propose to do, I want to run a socket down the corner there where we said originally. I need to cut a hole for that. Then the wire's going to drop down to the floor. I'm going to run it round the edge of the floor. I've just dug a little channel in the step there for the cable to go through. Along that wall it's going to pop up over there. We're putting a stone floor down over the top of this, so the cable will be safely out of the way, Spanish style, concreted into the floor, although we won't be using concrete. Then I'm going to run the lighting cable the same along, parallel with it, down there and through a hole which I need to make in the step there to go into my light. So the first thing I need to do, I think, is chop out a cutout for me back box and my socket over there. Just need to decide where to put it, because obviously we want the wires and the socket sat in an area that's going to be plastered and not set into the exposed stone. So it shouldn't be a problem. Perfect. Trouble is, I've got a massive hole here and a massive stone. I think I need to do a bit of pointing up in there before I go any further. Because when that's in, I won't be able to get into the back of it easily. The joys of old buildings, job always gets much bigger as soon as you start. But not to worry, I'm going to get a mix on and get some stuff in that hole. So what I'm going to do, I've actually found a nice piece of flat sandstone I'm going to stick in the wall. And with doing that, I'll be able to screw my socket back to it. It did go in, just got to get it to go in far enough. A little bit more. That looks pretty perfect. Maybe a tad. Oh. Excellent. So now I can, it's got holes in the back to screw it in, I can actually screw into that piece of sandstone once it's all gone off. And that will be happy days. Right, I'll get the rest of it filled in. So while I'm waiting for that to go off, I'm going to see if I can get through here. I've got a hole goes a fair way through. I don't think this bar's going to be straight enough though. I might have to drill it through. We'll have a look. You never know. Give it a whack. It's kind of not working. No, I need a straight one. I've got an intermediate one. It might be easier to just pop the stone off and go in from the top. Don't know. Let's see. It seems to be wanting to find its own way. We're through. Right, so if I get the cable through, I might have to make it a bit bigger. We'll have a go. There we go, he's through. Leave plenty of length, and I can lay him back now, back over there. Fab. Excellent, so the wire's in, running back to my junction box. What I need to do now is wire up the bulb in the cave and then wire this neg and earth into there, and then the pos will then run from here, the positive, into the switch and then back and into the positive of the light. So basically I'm just breaking the positive with the switch, as easy as that, he says. So I think, yeah, I'm going to do the wire in the cave first. Right, okay, so I've stripped back the wires in the cave. All we do with these, there's a little circlip in them, for anyone that doesn't know. Just pop it out, drop the bulb in, like so, and then pop the circlip back in. It's got a slot on one side that it goes in. It's not easy doing this, standing here holding it. And that's it, bulb's in. They also twizzle as well, you can angle the direction of them too. So depending on, you can even turn the whole fitting round if you want to angle it up and down or whatever, just by the tangs on the back. Those, just lift them up and you can rotate it any way you want and twizzle it up and down that way. Cool, right, I'm going to get this wired up now, get him in the centre and have a look at it. See, hopefully get this going soon. So next I'm going to bare back the cable that's going in, take the outer sheath off it. I generally just bend them over, put some tension on it and just run round with a Stanley knife very gently. You don't want to mark you don't want to cut the insulation on the cables inside. You really don't. Practice makes perfect. Turn it around, bend it over, give it a slice. Come on. There we go. You'll see the wires appear. Gently does it. And the last bit. There we go. Pull the sleeve off. There's your wires. Bare them back now with the strippers and they're ready to go. So next I need a wire for my switch. I'm just going to mark it out roughly. Like that. Smashing. And go there. I've already stripped one end off. I'm just going to cut it and bare this one back as well. So I'm just going to connect up my switch now. The earth goes to the main body. You just put the pods into line 1 and the pods coming out into the common. So I do it. So I'll get them in. I'm doing it now because it's just easier to do it here than when it's hanging on the wall. What's happened there?
Sorry.
What's happened there?
I was just cleaning off this shelf where I've got to get into the corner and paint, and it's full of debris. I didn't realise it was going to make a noise. Sorry.
It's alright. So Shannon's just cleaning off that shelf above. I did clean it off, but actually after I mortared up the edges for the beams, I must have dropped a load of stuff, and that's what was making all the noise. How are you getting on, Poppy, anyway?
I'm getting on okay, but I'm coming to the really difficult bit now.
Yes, it's good fun up there in that
I need to be able to bend backwards, and unfortunately at my age it's not easy.
So I've turned the power off on the circuit here. Time to make the connections. So what we do, all the earth's going together basically. So he goes in there. We're going to wire the socket up later. I need to let that thing go off that I put in before I can fix it to the wall. But get the light working, that'll be nice. So the neutral, all the earth, sorry, all go into the same earth block. That's that one, and that one. Now, the neutral and this is where it gets complicated, you see. So the neutral from the actual, push him in there out of the way, from the actual light, which is this one, which is that one, he can go into the neutral over there, like so. And then the live, that wants to go, so I'm going to put the live that goes to the switch into the live, which is there, and then make sure that's the switch here, and then the neutral coming back from the switch, that's going to act as the live that goes to the light. So I'm just going to get another Wago on them two, and if that makes sense at all. So basically, the live comes from the live, it runs through the switch, where it's switched, comes back, joins in and then goes to the light. The neutral and the earth from the light just go into the normal neutral and the earth. So I've got another way to go over there, I think. We have we can get him in. That's the one in. And then this one. Right, so just check all that now. Live, neutral, live, live comes to the switch. And back from the switch go into live for the light. Right, that should work, so I'm going to pop the power back on and try it. There we go, power's back on, switch it on. Hey, there we go. One illuminated cave. It's going to make it a lot easier to work in there as well. Yeah, fantastic. Another good job, well done. There we go, that illuminates the cave fantastically. It's only a 4.9 watt LED, but it's going to make it so much easier to work in there as well. The darker bits on the floor are just shadows. Now I'm going to fix the switch to the wall. For now, only for security, but I'm going to leave the lid off the junction box because we need to wire up the socket to it in the future, near future. Right, so the switch is fixed to the wall for now. We need to sort these out obviously in the future, but all this needs plastering in and bonded in. But again, I can't do anything because there's another cable yet to go down here to go to the socket. So that'll be the next thing to do.
So I probably should have started with this bit because never save the worst till last. But anyway, where there's a will, there's a way. Oh, I nearly fell off the ladder. Thankfully, nobody's really going to see up here, so I don't have to be too precious about getting it all over the wall. But this is the last one, we're nearly there.
So in anticipation now, I'm just going to cut the cables now. The one to run from my junction box down to my socket, cut it a little bit long. And then the one that's then going to bounce on from that socket to feed me other sockets over there. I'll lay that out and work that out. And in fact, I'm going to leave it, I'm just going to run it from here. I'm just going to leave the coil over there so I can do whatever I want with it in the future. Excellent. So my wire's just sat in place. You can probably see it fouled up on the floor here. This is the end of it. I'm just going to terminate that into a junction box. Safekeeping so I can then safely wire up the socket which it'll be bouncing off, and then it'll all be safely put away. Just make a cut in the things, shove him through, there we go, stick the way goes on, put the lid on, and that'll be done.
Well, it's done. It looks particularly patchy, more so than the kitchen did. It's a different material I think they've used. But you never can tell until it's dry, as we know from experience. So leave it until tomorrow, have a look at it, and if necessary, I'll give it another coat. But I really hope not, especially this bit. It was horrible. But it's done.
Super.
Well, let there be light.
Yeah, but, yes, the strange glow in the corner is our cave.
Looks fab.
Yeah, at least we can see to work in it now, as I said before. Yeah, we'll decide what to do with it. It might just stay an illuminated ornament now as opposed to just an unilluminated ornament. But yes, it's quite a nice feature. So anyway, I can't do any more, you can't do any more because you finished, you've got to let it dry.
I can't take that tape off now until the lime washer's dry, so, and then obviously it's a matter of oiling beams, walls want to be painted. There's loads left to do, but for now...
Yeah, I can't do any more with this until that's gone off. So I think, yes, it's quite warm, isn't it?
It's time for
A nice cold beer. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to everyone who supported us. Thanks to our Patreons. We couldn't do it without you. Very much appreciated. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye.